Okay, just 19 days now till the election, and according to today's Newspoll, most voters now expect a minority Labor government. Here's how Pete Stefanovic summed it up for us on Sky News this morning.
The Coalition's primary vote has dipped below levels recorded at the last election at 35%, while Labor's primary vote sits at 33%. The expectation of a majority government would be in excess of 40%, so both well down. Support for the Greens and Independents remains unchanged at 12. Labor remains ahead of the Coalition on two-party preferred, sitting 52 to 48.
Let's bring in the former Labor senator. I think I referred to him as a Labor senator. I'm sorry to do that to you, John Black. That's joining me in Brisbane. John, I just catapulted you back into the Senate. What a curse.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Can I just say, if you run that Ryan interview again, can you please put up a warning beforehand for any old politicians who have to watch it? It's traumatic.
I've never seen a politician asked a question before on live television and you actually feel the need for thinking music while she's sitting there. But I would have thought it was an open and shut case, that one. Now, tell us what you make of these polls. And we're essentially sitting now at the same polling for the major parties as at the last election. So all the political dramas of the last 3 years and the last 3 weeks matters nothing. Would it surprise you if that holds, or do you think in this last 3 weeks we'll see something break one way or the other?
Look, I'm inclined to think that we'll see something break one way or the other over the next 3 weeks. What we've seen over the last month is quite extraordinary, really. We've seen the net satisfaction scores for Peter Dutton have just plummeted. I think they were about -10 at the beginning of the month. They're now down to about -19. And what I normally see when that happens is an impact on the primary vote for that party of about 1/3 of that fall. And we've seen that. And perhaps more surprisingly, we've seen a huge rise in the net satisfaction scores for the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. I mean, he's still in negative territory, but it's only -4, and that's a big improvement from -21. So clearly something's afoot there, and the Prime Minister has done quite well in the campaign and should be acknowledged as such. It's been quite disciplined, whereas the Coalition have been all over the place for a few weeks there, and we could see the impact of that in the polls. It's been a bit tighter, a bit more disciplined. Their policy launch has been a bit more focused on swinging voters in the outer urban areas. I would expect to see some result from that over the next couple of weeks of polls, Chris.
Yeah, we will see. I think it's interesting what you say about their net satisfaction. Albanese certainly has campaigned more confidently and with fewer blunders or no blunders compared to last time. But do you think that Peter Dutton's problem there is, obviously most people tend to ignore the opposition leader. It's harder to get attention. But just as the campaign began, just when people were really focusing on him as the alternative Prime Minister, that's when he had to backflip, or he didn't have to, but he chose to backflip on a couple of key policies, which is not the best introduction.
No, it wasn't, and it was clearly a mistake. I can't see how they could have made it in retrospect, to be honest. You know, when you start a campaign, Chris, you've got to have a pretty clear idea as to what your target group is and who they are and how they make their money and how they get to work and that sort of thing. And the talk about ending work from home and cutting the large numbers of public servants and so on, that really frightened a lot of people in outer suburban seats. As I can see now, you're showing Dutton getting back to the basics, which is what he's delivering for people in those areas, and that is cheaper petrol. That, and I think the allowance for tax deductibility for mortgages could also potentially be a big plus for the Coalition. Chris Richardson said it was just reshuffling the deck chairs, but the policy that was put forward, as I understand it, related to new homes.
Only new homes, yeah.
And for first home buyers. So it's not just all the old homes that the older, richer people own, allegedly. It's new homes and it's first home buyers. So it targets that group of people who are just moving away from a house, a rental house, normally closer to the city, and then moving out into those fast-growing, newly developing areas that we see in outer Sydney and outer Melbourne. I think it's reasonably effective. And I've seen it before, Chris, in I think 1974. I think Gough Whitlam did the same sort of thing, and it worked reasonably well for him.
We shall see. Could be an action-packed final 3 weeks. Thanks for joining us, John. I appreciate it.